I agree. I agree. I think he'll be
So they
fine.
just got to give him a chance. Classic is basically what you're saying. Put him out there.
But the only thing about it, classic, I just feel like man, like the radar on him is so high already. Like he's not. I feel this way, and a lot of people might not feel it. I don't think he's going to get a fair shot.
Mm.
That's my opinion. From what I'm seeing today, if he doesn't leave Cleveland, he won't get a fair shot. He needs to get
Mm.
out of Cleveland, and Cincinnati will be a great. It's right up the street. It's not far. You're gonna go from Cleveland to Columbus. I mean, to Cincinnati. That's not far at all. A couple hours, go up the road, man. But we got our boy Classic from the Classic Codes here. So we about to get into this. And then we actually got some videos to show you guys before we get into the subject tonight. So, but this is what the meat and potatoes are for tonight. Let me get that topic rolling across there. Mental health is more than race. So here we go.
Thought had made earlier. He said black therapists are most broken. That's how I knew it was a dead mission. So
to give y'all context, the reason why I wrote that is because we all know that at one point, Classic was in the business of saving black women. He was in the business of trying to give them the knowledge that they needed to be successful in black marriage, black relationships, and just to be better black women. And some time went by. He hit his head on the wall a few times. He's still doing his queen codes, but he figured that, hey, this mission needs to be aborted, and he chose to abort that mission. And so throughout the show today, I was just telling him that because he asked about when do you give up on your goal or something like that. It was something to that nature. And I just said that, hey, you got to know what's your reason behind your mission, blase, blase. And then we got into this, and this is when I started talking about that black therapists aren't always good for the black culture, this and that. And so this is my what I
we were talking earlier about how I came to the realization that trying to like specifically influence change in the number of nuclear black households, trying to influence change in that number consistently going down, I learned that it was a dead mission, because when it came to really breaking down why the black family isn't really a thing anymore, when it came time to have the discussion with the women and their side of it, right? Not saying that men don't need to do anything, but when it came time to have a discussion with the women and their side of it, over hours and hours and hours of content, I drew the inevitable conclusion that the sisters really don't want help in this regard. And so coming to that conclusion, Norris was pretty much, he pretty much was asking me in the chat earlier, like, why didn't you know already? And I explained it. And then he said he understood from having to deal with it in his workspace, in the psychology workspace. So he understood. He said black therapists are the most broken, and that's how he knew it was a dead mission. Can you elaborate on that, though? You said black therapists are the most broken, and so that's how you knew it was a dead mission. Cortez said, I got out of the industry so it wouldn't get me. Respect. But yeah, can you elaborate on that, Souls of Thought? You said black therapists are the most broken. That's how you knew it was I agree with you that sometimes therapists are some of the most broken people. I can agree with that, just from knowing some folks and things like that. But how did that also lead you to the conclusion that the mission of trying to fix the nuclear black family crisis was a dead mission? How did those two things correlate? I'll let you speak on it, because I'm done speaking on the sisters. It's all respect and love. Black queens forever. Facts. Black queens forever. Classic. But yeah, the tears down said I was a mood enhancement farm, a coal counselor, and I had to get out. Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do what you gotta do for you. But yeah, I'm waiting on Souls to give me a little bit more elaboration on how those two things correlate. But if he can't right now, it's all well and good. I know everybody ain't in predicaments where they can be in the chat. Some people driving, some people doing different things, people still at work, etc., etc. But yeah, man, that's it for the chat Q&A. I actually got to get on with the rest of my day. I get to go make some money. The Tears Down said the slogan, "You're only sick as your secrets," made me realize that people are indeed terminal. Ooh, who made that slogan, Tez? Souls of Thought said, because we only want help from people who look like us, but broken past can't fix new present.
So that's the comment that I made. I couldn't give too much because, like you said, some of us are working, driving, whatnot. So I wanted to break this down tonight. Because those who do know me know I worked in the mental health field for over a decade. And a lot of people might not like this opinion. A lot of Black people might not like this opinion. But the reason why I say that is because we're coming to a point in life where it's hard to fix the Black nuclear family when we all know that it's trauma-based. It's it's a lot of people still create their own form of racism, which we're going to discuss a little bit tomorrow night. I think we're in a society now where we want to go seek help from people who look like us, not knowing that those people once had to seek help for themselves. And I think we get that misconstrued a lot, that just because you get a Black therapist, you're going to receive the right type of care. And that's what I was saying, is that for me, I know Black female providers. I know people, I'm not going to say names, but I know people who have some of the same issues that your day-to-day people have, and they still haven't even healed from those things. But we always focus in the Black community about seeing someone that looks like us. And why do you want to see somebody who look like you? And we're I'm gonna show a couple videos today, thanks to April. We got a couple therapists that we're gonna pull up to show y'all some quick examples, and then we're gonna break this down a little bit more. But I want to encourage people that your help doesn't have to look like you for you to receive help. Mental health is not a thing about relationships. Let me say that again. Mental health is not about the relationship. A lot of us want to go to places that are a safe place, but you're not getting any help. Just because you're at a safe refuge doesn't mean you're receiving everything you need just because a person looks like you. Because what normally happens, and I've seen this in a therapeutic environment, we become friends and not therapist and client. You get someone who can relate to you, and you don't understand that just because they can relate to you doesn't mean they understand you. So we get all that misunderstood. So I just want to talk about that. Now he said, y'all talking about Blacks. No, you comment on this. This is just about mental health in general, but it's focused on the Black community. And then we also have some white people in here too. So I'm gonna switch over to this. We had to go to the great world of TikTok to find these. So we're gonna go through a couple videos and then give some more of our comments. So I wanted to able to research why a lot of people started to become therapists. And I want you guys to kind of hear why people become therapists.
Why am I a therapist? Hi guys, I'm Bree the therapist, if you do not know me already. I am a therapist within the Nashville area, and I primarily work with children, adolescents, and college-age students. I actually always get asked this question, and so I thought I'd just kind of come on here and on this platform and kind of share my why, just in case it inspires others just to be a therapist or seek therapy. So growing up, I always knew I wanted to do something with kids. I initially thought, it was going to be a teacher. I used to line up my stuffed animals, get them assignments, grade them, the whole shebang, literally. But I didn't really find any true clarity around what I wanted to do until my mom became a foster parent. So being a foster parent, we had a lot of different kids coming in and out of our home, struggling with emotional problems and behavior problems. And I always just wanted to understand why, like, you know, what was going on, what caused this shift.
Okay, that's one. Then we go on to this one. This is another person that says why they started to be a therapist, and listen to this one.
Thing get asked is, what made you want to be a therapist? Why did you go into mental health? And of course, I say all the positive things, right? Oh, I wanted to change the face of mental health. I wanted to help destigmatize mental health. I wanted therapists to be able to look more than one way, right? But then I say the one thing that most therapists won't admit. And that's, I became a therapist because I'm nosy. I love a good piece of gossip. You meet some people and their lives are like 50 episodes of an unwatched, good series full of drama, life lessons, real good stuff in there for us to like really dig into and talk about. And I need to know what's going to happen next, okay?
I'm not going to play the whole 2 minutes because I don't want y'all to overlook what she said. So let's go to the next one.
We coming back to it, right?
Yep, we sure
Okay,
will.
thank you.
I see this quite often. One reason is that they
read that topic. 4 reasons a black person may see a white therapist.
Mm-hmm.
So pay attention. This is not a biased observation I'm giving you guys. This is mental health professionals as well.
might be really good for them. Okay. I'm not going to stay on here and say that only black people can serve black people. That is not the case. I've seen a lot of white clinicians who have done their work, who have truly done their work, show up in the best ways for black people, and they have gotten the best and quality care that they can have in that moment, period. The second reason has to do with accessibility. Financial affordability is included in that. What type of insurance they have is included in that. The type of town that they live in is included in that. If they're able to even find them, right? That has to do with it as well. Another reason might be good word of mouth. Going back to my first point, let's say they met with somebody who did really good and they also don't have a lot of access, or they feel just more comfortable, right? That person's going to refer them to other people in their community. So they might feel safer. So they've identified one particular person that felt good for them. And that might be their identified resource. And unfortunate as they may be, I've seen black people who have not had a good experience with a black therapist. So therefore, sometimes that scars them. I wish it didn't, right? But I'm not here to judge.
And last but not least, I wanted to make sure we got a male perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Want to work with black male therapists because I don't know, my experience has just been a little bit different. Not many people really want to work with black male therapists. Like some people say they do, but then they get in the office and now it's like, oh, maybe I need to reconsider. For example, with black women, oftentimes black men are the perpetrator of a lot of their traumas. So working with a black man and therapist just sometimes doesn't always make the most sense for them. And I understand that. It's not really difficult for me to understand. So I've had women before say I don't want to work with him. And I just had to be like, I get it though, because that makes a lot of sense considering the relationship sometimes that black men and black women have. And the other thing that's really surprising is black men don't want to work with me either. Black women is black men's safe space. So if we're going to talk about our problems, we're going to talk about it with black women first. And there is a subgroup of black men who are like, you know what, fine, I'll work with you. And I feel like they learn a lot. But there's a lot of hesitancy to work with black male therapists. Now, don't get me wrong now. There are hella folks who be trying to get in my office and like fighting to work with black male therapists. And I appreciate that. But I do want to name that they are part of the minority and definitely not the majority, at least from what I've noticed. I don't want to even get into like how white folks feel about working with black male therapists. I think some of that can just be assumed. But there is something that's really important about working with black male therapists. It is the idea of corrective emotional experiences.
So as you see there, we gave you guys a dose of a lot of different variety. This is not something Norris put together, April put together to try to bring division. I want people to start getting true facts when they listen to our shows. We get a lot of bad information from the masses. The one thing that I can say is true out of everything you might see is that there's a lower number of black therapists. Outside of that, all that other nuances, that gentleman almost killed it for you. Because that's why I was trying to answer Classic's question today, is because we can't always run to what looks like us and think that we're going to be the ones that fix the problem. And because I think Classic was doing a very good job, but obviously people who look like him didn't feel like he was giving them what they needed, or they couldn't take the delivery that they were receiving it in. But you got to ask yourself this: would you take it from a white man telling you the same thing that Classic was telling you? Would you take it from April if she, get out of her shell and tell you the truth on how she sees things? That's what I want to talk about tonight, is that mental health is more than race. I seeked mental health in 2018, and my provider was a 60-plus-year-old white woman who wanted to live in a tiny home, who had this dog that she had in her therapist's office. And she was one of the best providers ever.
Mm.
I had a different thought process because I worked in mental health. I knew that, hey, I'm the person who's going to make my therapy good or bad. You make your therapy good or bad. Therapy is not race-based.
You got to do the work.
Yeah, a black therapist is going to use this same book right here, this DBT. This is you'll see. Ask your therapist if any of y'all go. It's called DBT. I guarantee you 90% of your homework comes out of this. That's going to come from a black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Caucasian. It don't matter.
All taught the same.
We're all taught the same education. We're all given the same cognitive behavior therapy. We're all learning the same theories. Everything is the same. You have to be a good student. It's not about the teacher all the time. It's about you being a good student and being a good steward of your time and making sure that you're doing the work that you need to do. And before I let you go, April, I ain't going to take all up the time, but Tristan said the worst thing is when you find a therapist that has the same ideology as you, that has kept the black community at a disadvantage. You hit it spot on, Tristan. That's what I was trying to say earlier, is that y'all just heard a therapist who says she liked to hear your story because it gave her gossip. It was like a TV show.
So my question was, do you really want to help them? Are you in the business of helping people? Because that's what therapists do. They help people get through whatever they're doing. And you're just there to hear gossip. So
I'm going to tell y'all this. I worked with a lot of providers. I worked in a lot of clinics. I think I have met one, I'm talking about great black provider. And that's my boy, Dr. Davis. He out in Philly. And he also know Axel brother, but that's another thing for another story. So, Dr. Davis, I ain't gonna give his first name, but Dr. Davis is that guy. This dude is in books. He was part of like the civil rights movement, all types of stuff. We didn't always agree on everything, but I'm telling you, all his patients would come out crying. They will let you know, like, man, I don't know if I want to see Dr. Davis today, because Dr. Davis made sure that every day you walked in his office, you were being tested. And that's what mental health looks like. Mental health is not that you go in, give a sob story, talk to your best friend, and bring your therapist cookies. I've seen a lot of that stuff too. And then you leave and go pick up your prescription downstairs. That's not therapy. Therapy is doing the hard work that some days you don't want to come in and do. And that does not have a color on it. And that's why I told Classic that I knew that his battle to try to help a certain community was dead. Because even the help within the community is dead. So just take that with a grain of salt if you want. I just wanted to be able to be very clear about what I meant when I was on his show today. I didn't want to leave anything like any loose ends. I said speechless. Yeah. Tristan said that one word to describe that second video, chaotic. Yeah. She said idea of corrected emotional experiences. Noted.
What that gentleman said, I think some people have problems receiving correction from a different race as well. So and the same race, they have
Yeah.
problems receiving correction, period. So
And
I
it's
just
just,
wrote that in there. That's what he said, idea of correcting emotional experiences.
and it's funny to me because I go on, when you go and listen to all these panels, some of the biggest thing people complain about is I can't find a therapist that looks like me. I can't find, but you don't need a therapist that looks like you.
No, you just need to know the work to do to get you through what you're going through.
None of y'all out there, when your air conditioner go out, you don't care what race that man or that woman is that come and fix that AC in the summer.
As long as it get fixed.
You don't care if Bob,
It's done the
Art,
right way.
Julian, Jesus, you don't care who walked to that door. You just want to make sure that your AC works once they leave.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with therapy. Just like getting in an Uber. You don't care who pick you up. You just want to get to your destination safely.
Absolutely.
That's what mental health is. Stop paying attention to the driver and be a better passenger.
Admittedly, I will say that when I was seeking therapy, I honestly wanted a Black woman because of how I grew up during my youth in the culture, the Black culture. And I wanted her to know, I wanted her to understand my experiences and what I went through in order for her to guide me in the direction that I needed. But I never found her because I wanted a woman. And I did find somebody else who was, I'm still shopping around. You have to shop around for your therapist now.
Mhm.
Everybody is not for everybody. It's just, even though we shouldn't be treating it like a relationship, it's just as your personal care doctor as well. You have to shop around for a great personal care doctor, somebody who's going to cater to what you need. So it's tough. It's tough.
And think about what you said though.
Mhm.
You wanted, and this is just a example, right?
Oh, absolutely.
April wanted a Black female therapist.
Mhm.
How do you think that Black female therapist would think about you every time that you leave that office?
Oh. Hey, I don't even have to get into it because we know.
Think about that. You're seeking something that even doesn't look at you equal.
Right.
And I'm telling y'all this is coming from the heart of Norris. I'm telling y'all from experience. I worked in it. I'm telling y'all.
Yeah.
I didn't see therapists come out the room and just start talking about the patient so bad. You'd be like, did you help them?
Right.
Did you assist them?
Mhm.
like what's going on? Like, and that's what people don't understand. And that's why I was trying to tell, what I was trying to explain to Classic is that you can't help a group that doesn't want help. That doesn't mean everybody in the group doesn't want help. I'm not saying all Black people. I'm not saying all white people. I'm just saying that you can't help a group that doesn't want help.
Exactly.
And then also, let me give y'all another little nugget. Go talk to those Black therapists. A lot of them ain't coming from where you came from.
Nope.
That Black girl just told you she lived in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
You think she working with a lot of Black kids?
Nope.
I guarantee you, every Black woman that go see the young man at the end, they just like because he attractive.
Yep.
I seen that too. I seen people pick providers by how they look.
We got to get with Kendra too. That one that fell in love with her therapist.
Yeah,
Some
like
wild mess right there.
For real. But this is just me being honest with y'all. I know everybody's not going to take it well, but I'm going to give you the truth. And you can't fix a broken environment with somebody who has a broken past trying to fix a new future. Not saying they can't give you guidance, but I would tell you, stop seeking stuff that looks like you.
And most therapists get into therapy because they sought therapy before. So,
and this is what I would challenge everybody to do if you're African American and you choose to go see a therapist that looks like you. Mm-hmm. When you talk to your therapist on your intake, which should be like a 90-minute intake, an hour and a half, ask them, have you ever received therapy, and what was the race of your therapist? Because you're going to be very shocked that a lot of them that were broken was fixed by somebody who don't look like them, but you're chasing down someone who looks like you. Hey. Tristan said it doesn't matter who the therapist is. If you find therapist who tells you the truth or leads you to the truth, it's kryptonite to the modern woman. I would say most. I would say most modern women, and you would hit it on the head.
Tristan, when is your book coming out? Because you be on it. You be cooking.
Yeah. And I would highly encourage y'all to go over to Ask a Brother podcast. He actually did a video about female influencers lately. And he talks about Cheyenne Bryan. He didn't say her name, but everything led up to her. Everybody knew who he was talking about. But he was talking about how you can tell if a person's really there to help you or if that person's there to just benefit off of you, those type of things. I think it's something that really needs to be said. Classic, man. Y'all, man, we got to send out we need classic back. I said, I know this is off topic, but how you feel about psychedelic therapy? Oh no, that ain't off topic. I heard good things about it. Oz, out in Washington State, out there in Seattle, they actually did a whole study on mushrooms and psychedelics, probably back in 2022 to 2023. The gentleman who allegedly killed bin Laden, that soldier, that army guy, he actually went there to cure his PTSD, man. So I'm a big component of it, man, for content purpose on it. Yeah, I would definitely look into it if people are knowledgeable of it. I know we can't really talk about it indefinitely, but yeah, kind of like Classic said, you know, I'm going to give mushrooms a shot, allegedly. Yeah, like I heard good things about it, but if you get a time, Oz, look up the study they did in Washington. I want to say it was in Seattle, but they did a whole study, and they had a lot of soldiers that had PTSD and stuff. Actually did it out there. So, but correct me if I'm wrong. Just look it up. I think it was Seattle though. So yeah, I have. That's not our topic at all, because mental health normally does have some form of medication type management too.
And we need to put out there too that PTSD isn't just about these soldiers that have gone overseas. PTSD